The Carl Nelson Show.
You're rocking with the most awesomest. All right, let's go. Keep rocking. Keep rocking.
Hey, good morning, Wake Up Squad, and thanks for joining us for another Open Phone Friday. This is where your black ideas come to life. If you're new to the program, this is how we start our weekends. Now's the time to call us. Our telephone number is 800-450-7876. If there was a topic that you think we should have discussed and we didn't, or even if we did, and somehow you think we came up a little short, hit us up. Or if there's something going down in your corner of the world and you think the rest of the universe would benefit from hearing about it, as long as it's free and legal, we'd love to hear from you. So free your mind and then reach out to us. Again, our number is toll-free. It's also worldwide. It's 800-450-7876. Now, we kicked off our week with Brother Senghor Baye and a panel of Garveyites detailing Marcus Garvey's global influence on this being Garvey Week. Following the panel, Afrocentric reparations advocate Dr. David Horn discussed the need to create a reparations think tank to receive reparations. On Tuesday, financial advisor J.B. Bryan checked in to field questions concerning the continuing rise in interest rates. Next up, metaphysician Dr. B outlined how music can be used as medicine. On Wednesday, investigative reporter Jeff Gallup informed us of the increase in the rate of fentanyl use in our communities. After Jeff, Reverend Dyrell and Vicki Russell Walton previewed a big health fair set for the DMV next week. Clinical psychologist Dr. Dromy Fox closed out the day. Dr. Fox explained how the recent riverfront brawl in Alabama managed to capture Black America's psyche for several days. Thursday brought us Samuel Jordan outlining his plans to fight for the completion of the Red Line in Baltimore. Following Samuel, Brother Ben X checked in to discuss his book, Separation or Death. After Brother Ben X, constitutional and criminal defense attorney Dwight Pettit joined us to go over the charges Donald Trump and 18 of his cohorts are facing in Fulton County, Georgia. And we ended the day celebrating Marcus Garvey's birthday with his son, Dr. Julius Garvey. If you missed any of the programs, you can get a podcast copy from your favorite podcast platform or your station's website. You can listen to the program live from those websites as well, or you can download your station's app and use that. The apps are free. They are available from the App Store, and they work on all the Apple and Android devices. You can also use the TuneIn app. You can use Alexa. You can use Siri, CarPlay, whatever. Next week, some of our guests include banking and financial expert Darnell Parker, Professor Minuam Pin, and Black Women for Positive Changes, Dr. Stephanie Myers. So if you are in the DMV or if you're in Baltimore, let all your friends know. We get on the way at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Tell them to keep their radios locked in Baltimore on AM 1010 WOLB, and also in the DMV. We're on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL, where information is power. All right, let's get this party started. Before that, Kevin, I got to ask you a question, though. I've been hearing reports that the Republicans are trying to replace the mayor in D.C. Is there any truth to that?
That is correct, Carl. Earlier this week, at the top of the morning, 3 of the Republican congressmen introduced a bill Tuesday that would repeal the Home Rule Act, which then effectively would, remove the mayor and the city council and governing all the other governing authorities in D.C. So I'm calling it the DIY bill. They want to do it themselves. And of course, Eleanor Holmes Norton is up in arms about it, and she's saying that there's no way that they can do that. And so they're saying or projecting that it may not pass, but there are 3 Republicans, Nelson.August of Tennessee, Matt Rosendale of Montgomery, Alabama, I guess, and Byron Donalds of Florida. It's Montana. That's Matt Rosendale of Montana wants to remove the district, and signs off on that bill in an attempt to exert authority over the district. And August says, get this, he says, in the first 5 days of August, D.C. saw an overrun with violent crime, with theft, with homelessness, with riots, and that's just Donald Trump. I added that part. He didn't say it was Donald Trump. But, I mean, come on. That's what they're indicting Trump for as well. inciting a
Let
riot.
me jump in and ask you this, though, Kevin. So if they get rid of a local rule in the district, what are they going to replace it with?
Wow, that's a good question. I guess it'll be run by Congress. Let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit more in here on Google. I Google everything. It's my friend, you see. And so if they do it and to block the D.C. laws, no, there's nothing saying what they will do other than, I guess, do everything by committee. Do we put in new parking meters? We'll have a committee to discuss it.
Wow.
I'm not sure how Congress.
As if they don't have enough work on their hands already with the rest of the country trying to figure out how to take over D.C.
No, apparently they're just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, watching the news like the rest of us. What are we going to do about Trump? I guess.
Right. And it may be a backlash for Trump too. Because he's going to be tried in D.C. So maybe that in the back of their minds, let's take over the district then, since Trump has a trial set for D.C.
Whoa, that's quite a perspective, because then they've got all the authority, and including sending Kavanaugh to be the one that judges Trump.
You never know, man. These guys they plan ahead. We're thinking tomorrow, and they're planning way ahead.
Oh yeah. The game is chess, not checkers for those guys. No doubt about that. And so it just seems to be a little bit strange, if you ask me. But what do you think about the Commanders? Just to change the topic a bit, getting into a fight with the Ravens as they practice for their opening game, and apparently they did it 2 days in a row. This getting a fight. It's like your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. Hey, take that back.
It's a game. Somebody should tell these fellas it's a game. Okay, it's nothing serious.
Never
it's
mind.
A game.
It's a game that you're being paid millions of dollars. Okay, maybe not everyone is making millions. Some of them are making hundreds of thousands. Okay, so maybe that's the fight. I don't get it. If you're making that kind of money, it's not time to fight with anyone. But there's a lot of testosterone out there, so I guess you can get upset. You're practicing in 90-degree temperatures. The heat is going to take effect, apparently.
Yeah, it's interesting too, Kevin, that some people will see they're just gladiators. This is what we should do back on the plantation. They're fighting and entertaining the massa. So, hey, it's you gotta look at it from that perspective as well.
Okay, it is an entertainment thing, but at the same time, they're humans, right? So as you're out there, everybody wants to be the alpha male, so you got to show your position. Again, I just brought it up for conversation's sake. You will never catch me out there at any cost. I'm not sure you can pay me enough.
10 after. Later, I want to ask you a question about one of our city councilmen calling for the National Guard to come in, because you talked about the crime in the district. Calling for the National Guard to come into Washington, D.C.
Good grief.
We'll talk about that. Yes, no, we'll get that in a minute, though. But I see that Dyrell Muhammad is joining us. Dyrell, good morning.
Sir?
Salam alaikum, my brother. How you feel?
Wa alaikum salam. I'm alive and well this morning. Thanking Almighty God, brother.
Yes, sir. I understand you have a big event coming up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we have the third annual back-to-school event this Saturday from noon to 4 o'clock. We will start off right there with Councilman Trayon White, and myself, and the men and women, particularly the women that lost their family members in that area. We will start from 12 o'clock. We will walk from there to Anacostia Park, and we will have all kind of things for the children that day. Book bags, moon bounce, games trucks, barbers, hairstylists, face painting resources, and one of the sponsors, of course, is myself, Mother's Tables, Growing Up, Cedars United, Trayon White, and the Fly Station. So that's one of the beautiful things in terms of the event. But I heard you speak to the beloved brother about Trayon White requesting the National Guards. And that was one of the questions that I was asked because he asked me to join him at that press conference. Unbeknown to me, that's his politics. I was there on behalf of the mothers and the family that lost their loved ones because I works right in that neighborhood in terms of the community service that I have been advocating on your show the last two times, 16th and Good Hope Road and 19th and Minnesota Avenue Southeast, as well as 22nd and Minnesota Avenue Southeast. So he asked me to come over to support the community, which I do, or did. But I was kind of shocked that he asked for the National Guards or requested the National Guards to come in, particularly in Washington, D.C. Now, of course, I have a different position. Being a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan since the 90s, been telling our black youth that they are unknowing conspirators in a governmental plan to destroy them and us as a whole. So I have an interview, I believe, coming up on NPR to explain that position coming from myself because he said it, I didn't. But the thing for me was that was just a knee-jerk reaction from him because at the end of the day, as we're taught in the Nation of Islam, especially when you're dealing with politics, poly mean many and ticks mean bloodsuckers of the poor. So as of right now, homicides is up 15%, sexual abuse is up 32%, assault with a deadly weapon is up 5%, robbery is up 59%, and burglary is up 6%. So there is a crisis in Washington, D.C., but calling the National Guards in, I think that's a knee-jerk policy or request from Mr. White. I respect what he's saying from his perspective, but it's going to take our community to get our community out of the situation it is in, because if we're not part of the solution, then we are the problem. So we can blame all.
Hold up, thought right there, Brother Dyrell. We got to take a quick break and take our first look at the traffic and weather. I'll let you finish your thought about the call for the National Guard in Washington, D.C. by City Councilman Trayvon White. We'll do that in 4 minutes, and also we'll get some more information on your back-to-school event that's taking place this weekend. Folks, you want to join this conversation? It's an open phone Friday. Free your mind and reach out to us at 800-450-7876. Your call's in 4 minutes right here on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore. In the DMV, we're on FM 95.9 and AM 1450. WOL, where information is power.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Good morning again, family. 20 minutes after the top of the hour. It's an open phone Friday. Free your mind and reach out to us at 800-450-7876. Before we left the string with Brother Dyrell Muhammad. He's having a back-to-school program tomorrow. But we were talking about the fact that some lawmakers are calling for the National Guard to patrol the streets of Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. has probably more law enforcement officials than any other city. With all these federal law enforcement agencies also working in the area. So, Brother Dyrell, I'm going to let you finish your thought and tell us again about the event that's taking place tomorrow.
Well, the event is just more than an event because we're doing that event where all the killing is on 16th and Good Hope Road. Now, Brother Carl, I work in that community daily, day and night, and I can tell you that the police is right there every time they spin in the block. 2 police cars is right there every time, not one time. Every time that they are spinning the block, and 5 to 10 minutes after they leave, that's when the police usually move in on the crime scene. See, so the thing for me with Council Member Trayvon White said was asinine. And what made it asinine for me, because we can play politics with the death of our people all we want. But when you started the show, you was talking to our beloved brother, because those Republicans are sitting back and they are opportunists. There's no doubt about it. You want to get rid of Muriel Bowser politically for the job that she's doing, but she's doing a great job, and I'm going to tell you why. I work directly with her MOCA director, Lamont Curry. Washington, D.C. has more resources, not just for returning citizens, for the residents of Washington, D.C., than all 50 states. Now, the beautiful thing about that is the people is not coming to the buildings to get the resources. That means that the resources has to be given to the people, meaning we got to get out of those buildings to get the resources to the people. So when Mr. White said what he said, as if he was going at this problem alone, it's going to take all of us to get involved in bringing our communities out of the condition that they are in. See, so, and this is why I mentioned politics, the blood suckers of the poor. See, so you can't wait till family members are losing their loved ones and then get in front of a TV camera as if you going at it alone, as if nobody else is doing things to try to solve the problem. And that's not so. I'm there.
Well, let me ask you this, though, Brother Dyrell, because right now you're disagreeing with Shaun White, the councilman, and he's working with you on this event tomorrow. Are you concerned this may fracture your relationship with him? You may be concerned it may be... Go ahead.
Personally, I don't give a damn. Personally, I don't give a damn. And I'm not working with him. Don't call me to stand beside you. Give me the respect or afford me the opportunity of, at least if you're going to go there, that's your policy. That's not mine. That's your ward, but I'm working in the ward. That's why you called me. I didn't call you. And this is the games that we play with one another. Soon as he left, not only was I there that night, I'm there every night and every day, establishing a relationship with them brothers and sisters and providing the resources that he says is not there. So as a cocktail of things, the thing for me is you have to be sincere and honest and don't play politics with the lives of our people. Because the beautiful thing about me is I'm going to speak the truth regardless of circumstances. That's the beautiful thing about me. So that's his position. That's not mine. I'm a follower of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad under the divine leadership of the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that man taught us in the Nation of Islam to speak the truth regardless of the circumstances. So there's no doubt about it. It was a knee-jerk reaction because at the end of the day, it's going to take the community to get us out of that situation. So as of right now, we got to ask ourselves the question, are we our worst enemy? So if we are our worst enemy, then we have to accept the responsibility of answering that question. So to request an occupation from an outside force as if the national, not as if, but the National Guards to come into the community, that's not the solution. As a matter of fact, that's an indictment against him. That's saying that you don't have the solution to the problem. So this is why I say there's a knee-jerk reaction without being thought out, because you have to have somebody at this moment in time to sit down and counsel with to guide us through this dire time. That's a dire time when you see our young brothers and sisters killing one another with no remorse. That's not nothing to tell you. I'm out there. I'm crisscrossing Washington, D.C. every day. I spend $300 worth of gas every week going in those communities. Why? Many of us are home. I'm in the street 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's his position. Whatever his position is, that's fine. But to ask or request the National Guards to come in, I don't think that that's the solution to the problem.
All right. We hear you loud and clear, Brother Dyrell. But tell us again before we let you go about tomorrow's event.
Well, tomorrow's event, because of the killing in that neighborhood, many groups decided to get together, and we're going to walk from right there, 16th and Good Hope Road, and we're going to walk all the way down to Anacostia because events just not going to get it. The resources have, and this is what, for me, and this is what some of the solutions to the problem is. I asked the young guys, look, I understand that you're frustrated because they telling me, all of y'all, including myself, they saying, you telling us that y'all going to do these things for us because we don't want to get in the street, but we don't have no opportunities. So if we're going to help those young guys, then we're going to have to replace it with something. When you asking them to stop doing something, then you got to replace it with something of substance. So we're going to start walking from right there, 16th and Good Hope Road, and we're going to go down to Anacostia. And we just got to continue to galvanize and inspire other people that's in the community that want to see our community come out of the condition that they are in to get involved instead of getting in front of these news cameras and advocating for a solution that's really not a solution, but it's the problem.
All right. So if they want more information, Brother Dyrell, how can I give them, is there an email address or a number, phone number they can call?
Yeah, they can call me at 202-274-0441, sir.
Do that again, but real slow.
202-274-0441.
All right, let me just tell you that your work is not in vain, though, because every time you're on, I get tweets and even emails from folks in the district who say they heard you and they say that brother's doing a real good job. And these are some people in the nation and some who are not in the nation who are telling me this. So obviously people are seeing what you're doing, and I think you are making a difference with our young people.
Thank you, sir. Stay blessed and safe.
And you keep up the good work for us, Brother Dyrell Muhammad. It's Dyrell Muhammad having an event tomorrow, back to school event for us, the students in the Washington, D.C. area, wards 7 and 8 especially. 800-450-7876, 28 after the top of the hour. Donna's on line 4 calling from California. Donna, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. My situation is I am a black nurse. I'm a travel nurse from Atlanta, and I have been working in California for the last 20 years. Now, we've seen where what they've tried to do is they're trying to get rid of the black nurses. They've come up with a policy called Do Not Return and refuse to hire black nurses like they're hiring other races. And that pushed us to work with staffing agencies. And so what they do is when they send us to these hospitals, we are being placed on list, literally list. And that's pushing us out of the very profession that we studied for right here in America. And we need something done about this.
You know what? Let me say this, Donna, because I've noticed that, but this has been going on for years. I mean, in New York, so you see sisters and nurses. I see for other places, L.A. the same thing. I was just wondering where are our African American nurses?
Exactly. You don't see us anymore in the hospital. We only go in when they request a nurse to fill, a hole they have with no available white nurse, Filipino nurses, and that's when we come in. And so, I'm on a hiatus right now because this has to be exposed. They're weakening the group, the nurses. We're a small group, and we feel like there are forces out there, there are people out there that can come in and stand with us. But we're going to fight about this.
And explain when you say you're going to fight. What do you mean? Do you have a plan set out? How are you trying to recruit people to join the nursing profession? What's the plan?
Yeah. What I think is because this has been going on for so long. Let me tell you, we marked this been happening right after President Obama won. So this started happening like in 2008, 2009, when they come up with a plan that they're going to stop us. What we need to do is we need all black nurses, near or far, to join my small group here in California. Because if we don't, our people are going to suffer. We won't have black nurses in the community, which is needed. This is America. Where is the representation for the black community? Our babies or the mortality rate for black babies are up, and it's not going down. There's a hospital right now in Centinela in California in the community. Their maternity unit has been closed. Where are those people going to go? Where are they going to go have their babies? You know why it's closed? Because they got rid of all the black nurses, basically, from this particular hospital. And they're hiring every other race except blacks. They're hiring people without experience. And they're coming in and they're botching. They're botching.
But you know what, Donna, let me jump in here for a second at 28 away from the top of that. What you're saying is not unusual to us as a people. We've been telling folks all along that we're under attack. That's one of the reasons why we should have some sort of unity, because everybody's against us. Not just the black nurses, the black doctors, the black farmers, everybody. They stick together. Neely Fuller's been and Dr. Wilson have been trying to tell us for the longest. They have a code and they stay on code. We need to have our own code. But hang on a sec. We got to take a short break here. We got to take our first look at the news, traffic, and weather. I'll let you finish your thought when we get back. 27 minutes away from the top of the hour, folks. It's an open phone Friday. Free your mind and reach out to us at 800-450-7876. Your calls in 4 minutes right here in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB. In the DMV, we're on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL, where information is power.